Welcome back, guys. So, Baby Got Sex.
Welcome.
This first week of November, this book was a wild ride.
This
Wild.
got a lot crazier than I was expecting.
Just when I thought she was gonna die, she comes barreling out of nowhere, and I was just like, "This is nuts." Also, I just want to say, thank God, Taylor Adams, you kept the dog alive, because if the dog would have died,
we were gonna fight. We would have fought.
I would have boycotted the entire rest of the books that Taylor Adams writes. I would have been like, nope, you killed the dog, you're done to me.
We we read
Yes.
The Last Word by Taylor Adams.
Yes.
I haven't read any other Taylor Adams books.
No, this is my first one. I believe my copy, which is at home in a box, is a book of the month.
Mine's book of the month.
Okay.
I forget which month, but it is a book of the month. I own No Exit by him, but I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
Which I'm pretty sure is a movie as well.
Okay. No Exit.
But yeah, I haven't watched it. I think when I was explaining the book to you, you said you've seen the movie. But I don't exactly remember the premise anymore.
Maybe I have. Let me see. I mean, I might have seen the movie. Do I remember the movie? That's a better question.
Very true.
Let me go into. I want to see if I've.
I don't think he's written that many books or released that many.
Yes, I've seen that movie. That movie is on Netflix. Yes.
Okay.
About 5. I don't know how many strangers gets stuck in a blizzard, and so they're forced to all wait at a rest stop, and then she goes to find cell service and finds a chick in the back of a van. And then she's trying to figure out whose van it is. Out of the. It's a pretty. It was a good movie. I don't know if I'm trying to think of who it was. I don't think there was too many, like not as many crazy twists and turns that I can remember as this one. Well, and No Exit was back in 2017 when.
Oh wow, that's a lot older than I thought it was.
Yeah, and The Last Word is the latest one that came out April of this year.
April.
So I wonder if it was our April book of the month.
It must have been.
Yeah.
That or March, because sometimes they release early on book of the month.
That's true.
March or April.
Went from 2021 Hairpin. It's Hairpin. I don't know why I said Harpin. And so June 15, 2021 to April 25th, 2023. So I had quite a bit of chunk.
Keep some time in between.
Yeah, 14, 15, 17, 23.
Okay. That makes more sense to me than, like, I don't know how the hell, like, Tessa Bailey releases multiples. That blows my mind.
And yet they are masterpieces every single time.
I need to get the Christmas one that she just came out with.
Oh. Yes. I think I was going to get it because it's for like $1 something on Kindle. So I think I was just gonna. Get it on there.
That's smarter, because it's always weird once I read a Christmas one, because then I'm definitely not gonna reread it unless it's Christmas.
Yeah.
For sure, not gonna. Yeah.
I mean, Tessa, like, I'll buy any book she comes out with, so that's just a given. But I mean, I would like to read it. Yeah.
Well,
anyway. I guess I could read.
Oh yes.
I don't know. Yeah, it's on Goodreads because I don't have the physical book, so I can't.
Oh, that's right.
Do that, but we're gonna hope that the one on Goodreads is the same that's in the book. Maybe, I don't know.
It usually is.
Emma Carpenter lives in isolation with her golden retriever, Lakai, house sitting an old beachfront home on the rainy Washington coast, which I loved that it was in Washington.
Yeah.
Her only human contact is her enigmatic old neighbor Deke, and via text the house owner Jules. One day she reads a poorly written but gruesome horror novel by the author H. G. Cain and posts a one-star review that drags her into an online argument with none other than the author himself. Soon after, disturbing incidents start to occur at night. To Emma, this can't be just a coincidence. It was strange enough for this author to bicker with her online about a lousy review. Could he be stalking her too? As Emma digs into Cain's life and work, she learns he has published 16 other novels, all similarly sadistic tales of stalking and murder. But who is he? How did he find her? And what else is he capable of? This book, the roller coaster of emotions that I felt reading it, I wanted to throw this book across the room because I was getting like so mad, but then I was eating it up.
So yes, for all those who need to know before we get into spoilers, the dog does survive.
Oh, thank God.
The dog is fine.
Thank God.
There is a website that I keep meaning to check out, or maybe it's an app too. I don't know, but it's like doesthedog.com or something like that. And so like you can look into different movies and books and just to see if the animal
that is fantastic.
Which I feel like that's my main anxiety in movies, if like something questionable happens to the animal.
I was starting to get real nervous because the guy that's trying to kill Emma knows that Emma loves that dog so much, and so he's like, well, I'm gonna get rid of the thing that she loves the most. And I was like, I swear to God, a perfect angel of a golden retriever, if you kill this dog,
space dog.
Oh.
And he does try. He like puts blades in like chicken meat and leaves it out for the dog to eat. And she does eat it, but Emma always notices it quick enough that she takes it out of his mouth or makes her throw up. And but so dog is safe. Things happen to the dog.
Which made me very nervous. Heart rate was through the damn roof, but dog survives. I thought for sure Emma was a goner. I don't know this.
I thought she was eventually going to die. Because there's like 3-4 different times where it's like, and Emma died. JK.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So basically what happens is, so Emma Carpenter, she is house sitting for a woman named Jules, that she met, I think like online. Probably the lady was leaving and wanted someone to house sit for her. So it was at a place called Strand Beach. So it's pretty isolated. Only really has one neighbor named Deke, who is an older gentleman, and they only talk via whiteboard games.
Yeah, they're like a mile or so apart. Their houses are, so they use like telescopes or binoculars to like play hangman or just talk to each other like Taylor Swift, "You Belong to Me" status.
Love it. Yes. Yeah. And so at one point, her neighbor, he was a author for a true crime book, for a serial killer that was in the area. And so he used to be very popular and famous.
He even did helped solve a case, so.
And so he he sees that Emma likes to read a lot. She'll just download Amazon free books just to keep her mind preoccupied. And so he offers to have her read one of like a book that I don't exactly know like why he offered it.
He had like a cruel sense of humor with her and be like, oh, there's someone behind you. Like he has a knife.
Yeah.
Like, there's someone behind you. And so he's like, you should read this book. And jokes on her. It's a truly awful book.
Yeah, she absolutely hates it. So it's called Murder Mountain, and the author has written 16 other books like Murder Lake, like they all start with murder.
Yeah.
And as she's reading it, she's realizing that this book is super cliche. Like it's about two women who are college students that are going on like a last hurrah hiking trip, and they brought like high heels, and like everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And she's like, these people are idiots. Like of course there's no cell service. Of course the car that they use, it has no battery or is not working. Like of course when the one girl's getting killed, the other one doesn't go for the gun that the killer set down, and she tries to run herself. Like it's just very cliche. These people are stupid, and basically in the mindset of I would do so much better in real time if this was happening to me.
Anyone would do better in real life. Like this, that's like, what was it? That saying that they kept saying, it was like, it's coincidences happen, but in books it's just bad writing. Something like that is what they do.
And so she gives the book a 1 star. Like she cannot believe that she just read that book. It was the worst book she's ever read. So she writes a 1 star review, and the author,
when she was writing it, she's like, of course there's no reviews yet, but like reviews are for other readers, not for authors. So she writes her review.
And there were some like pretty funny parts in this book.
There were.
I don't know if I'll be able to go.
If you can find, since you have a fancy schmancy Kindle now, you can tab and highlight.
Well, I thought about, so there was a part last night that I was going to highlight, and then I realized I don't know how to do that, and
we're not there yet.
We are not there quite yet. I was going to try to go back to, okay. This is fancy. I was trying to figure out how I could go back to the front, like the beginning, so that way I could read what the review was, and it let me do that. I did also like that.
My actual book too.
I liked too how you could tell like when she was talking to Deke through the whiteboard, the like font changed, and so it was easy for me to figure that out.
Let's see.
Let me see if I can find.
Oh, here we go. Found his response.
Okay.
So here we go.
Okay. Go for it.
Hold on. That was one of the first.
Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay.
The struggle.
Is it?
Where the heck?
Is it the big? I'm just gonna go to the. I think it's the prologue.
Oh.
Maybe.
That's probably why I'm not seeing it. Blah, blah, blah. Ebooks, the bird. No, I don't think we know exactly what she wrote until like he's reading it out to her.
Oh. Well, I guess I could read. So I have what he wrote.
Yeah, his response,
which is creepy.
It really is.
So he writes to her, "Nice to meet you. I'm the author of the acclaimed thriller Mountain Murder. Thank you very much for reading my novel. It's readers like you who make it all possible. However, I see you didn't like my book, and that's okay. But let me ask you, why review it then? Readers should only post their positive reviews," which is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
And you may have nothing at stake here, but I do. Other potential readers will see your 1-star review, and that might discourage them from buying my books, which hurts me financially. I work hard so someday I can quit my day job and write full time. It's been my lifelong dream ever since I was a kid. I'm sure you're a wonderful person in real life, and you wouldn't wish to attack my financial security. So I was wondering if you could please kindly remove your review. Best wishes, H.G. Kane. And so then Shane goes, "Hi, thank you for taking the time to comment on my review. I'm sorry that your book wasn't for me, but I will respectfully choose to keep my review posted because this is a forum for readers to share their honest views, positive and negative alike." And then they just get into like a feud back and forth.
Yeah. I found where he reads her parts of what she wrote.
Okay.
We got, "This was the worst book I have ever read. It's not just crap. It's a giant 50-gallon cauldron brimming with ice-cold diarrhea. To any potential readers, I'll save you 99 cents. The hikers both die at the end." I'm not sure if the author has ever encountered a human female before, but at one point he likens their breasts to sumo citruses, a mental image I find viscerally terrifying. And if you've ever seen a slasher movie, you'll predict every unrealistic trope. Of course, the victims have no weapons. Of course, there's no cell signal to call police. When one woman finds a truck, of course the engine won't start. When she takes refuge from the magically indestructible killer inside a cabin, of course she stupidly corners herself in a room with no exit. What are the odds of it all? Coincidences happen in real life, but in fiction, they're bad writing. I would rather die than read Murder Mountain ever again. Like that. I mean, it was rough.
Yeah, the diarrhea one got me. You guys will be able to hear me chuckling on that one. Yeah, it was brutal.
There could have been nicer ways to say this, but her main point was like when he mentions that like you're gonna be like damaging my finances doing this, like I want to go full time, and she's just like, well, no one should be making like profiting off of actual shit. Like, yeah, you're a bad writer, so you shouldn't be able to do that full time. Like,
yeah, it's
if you're bad at your job, then you don't get that job.
Yeah, so basically the whole premise of this book is she gives that bad review, and then she realizes that things are happening in the house that she's staying in, and she comes to realize that H.G. Cain has come to kill her. So yeah, it's about her fighting for her life, trying to get away from him. Lots of people die. Poor Amazon driver.
And throughout this, of her point of view, there are little inserts of what seems to be Murder Beach, which is you figure out H.G. Cain's probably writing a book about Emma's murder.
Yeah.
So like she starts thinking, oh my God, if he's murdering me and then gonna be writing this Murder Beach book, are all his past books about actual people he's killed, and that's how he can write them.
Yeah.
Terrifying thought.
I know. Like, as soon as I read that, I was like, oh no. Oh, that's not good.
Oh no.
Oh no. And so it's basically, yeah, just her trying to survive. It's taking those cliches of he's always one step ahead of her.
He's been sneaking into the house, so he knows the full layout and where everything is. Like, he doesn't even need to turn the lights on.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's already, like, messed with her car, so she can't drive away. He just tried to poison her dog.
And took the hydrogen peroxide away.
And, yeah.
He thought of the hydrogen peroxide trick.
And, like, the whole premise is, like, he's a huge loser. Like, he's a dork. Like, he's super quiet, antisocial, doesn't really know how to interact with people.
He reeks of butter and Mountain Dew.
Butter and Mountain Dew, which, like, what the fuck is the butter part? And like, what kind of musk?
Just the way that they describe him in the book.
Yeah.
Like his stubble,
his weapon of choice is katana, not a sword. The katana.
Yeah. That he's perfected.
Yeah. He's perfected
it.
You kind of find out that he kind of slowly, like, I guess, like, reveals little things from his past and, like, says questionable things that makes you wonder, like, is he acting alone? Is there someone else? Does someone else tell him to do this? Is it, like, a psychosis? Like, does he just have multiple personalities and that he's referring to a different, like, you don't really quite know what's going on, but he reveals that he had a crush on a girl who was his best friend growing up, and he had written this book when he was a kid, or like in middle school, gave her a copy, and it was about like a school shooting, and she slowly like stopped hanging out with him and just wouldn't talk to him anymore. I know, who would have thought. And so you find out he killed her, but he says it wasn't his fault because she died by asphyxiation because he tied her knots too tight.
I'm sorry, but when he talked about sucking on her teeth, I
Oh
lost
my
my
God.
shit.
Yeah, he kept some of
I
her
lost it.
hair and her
My
teeth, and it's like in his bedroom wall in a hole, and sometimes he still sucks on her teeth.
my
I'm
jaw
like, you
hit the
can't
ground. I opened
subtly
my
stop
mouth.
that.
I
That's
opened my
not
mouth when
normal.
reading that. My mouth was
Disgusting.
wide open.
So
I
gross.
I almost that's when I was trying to figure out how to highlight in my
Mm.
Kindle because I wanted to highlight that part. And then I thought to
Sucking her
myself,
teeth.
I'm going to remember it. I don't need to highlight it. I'm going to remember that part.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
remember it for too long.
It's disgusting. So, yeah, cuz at the beginning of the book, she Jules says that like things have happened. Her son didn't want to stay there because there was someone like walking around outside, and so that's why she has these floodlights outside that have a
A
parameter,
security
and she's
camera. Yeah.
got a security camera. And at one point, she gets a call from a cop doing a security check because there was a figure that was on the camera that was in a devil's mask, and so that starts getting her like a little paranoid,
Yeah.
and she
Besides
starts
just being
hearing
in someone
things.
else's house and the
Yeah.
noises, and she like feels like she's had vivid dreams of like someone in the house, or like,
Standing in the room watching
yeah, she's
her.
not sure, like, oh, maybe I was dreaming that. I'm just paranoid. Like,
Yeah.
it's just me and my dog.
And she's also she's pretty depressed. Like she's going through something. So we, as we're reading, think that she was in a car accident and that her husband passed, Sean.
Yeah.
We actually find out that it was their daughter who had died, and it was a very, very freak accident
Her
where
infant daughter.
everything, it would have been a very minor car accident, luckily, but
Mhm.
just the way everything, like the
Lined
precision of
up.
everything, it snapped her daughter's neck.
Yeah.
Just the way when she had like looked back and the whole
Yeah,
timing of
the way
everything.
her head just happened to be turned, the way she was sitting.
It was
And it was because Emma was checking her phone to hopefully get a notification from a coworker saying that she couldn't cover her class.
mm-hmm.
And so she would have to leave
The
the
in-laws.
trip to the in-laws and not have to deal with that. And she was super checking her phone, and then she checked her
Yeah.
phone onto that accident. Her baby died. And this was after you find out a long process of trying to conceive, and they were
Yeah.
probably going to need medical intervention, but she decided, let's just keep trying. And then
Yeah.
this was their miracle baby, and that was so sad.
It was really
It
sad.
was so
Yeah.
sad.
And so you're finding that out while this guy is on a killing rampage. So, um, obviously because he's an author and you're reading like how he has meticulously thought of literally everything, he did not anticipate Jules, the house owner, sending an Amazon package to the house, which
Yeah.
held a stun gun for
She
her.
was a super chatty, at least over the phone. Emma's never met her in person, but
Mm-hmm.
since that guy in the devil mask standing outside, she was like, "Are you okay? Do you want me to send someone?" And was like, "Do you own a weapon? I'll
Yeah.
get you a stun gun." I ordered the stun gun. Hold on, I don't know if it
Five,
comes with batteries. It does
five
come
star,
with batteries.
yeah, 5-star reviews. Yeah, and so this poor Amazon driver is coming and doesn't realize that there's a potential murder
A murderer.
happening, and so he gets sliced up and dies. And he was a father of two. They really get into this book.
No.
Oh my God, it was so sad.
Yeah, but
And
the
so
way
the
Agent Kane reacts after killing him,
yes,
he's like distraught. And so Emma's like, this wasn't part of his plan.
yeah, which she's gonna use to her
Yeah.
advantage. And so
Cut
she's
to,
trying.
actually, I do want to mention
Yeah.
the little inserts of the book that were part of. Like, it'd be like he wailed after he killed the Amazon driver, like, oh, this wasn't part of his plan. And then it would cut to like the written part of what was happening and be like, this was all part of his plan. He was gonna murder as many people as it took. So it's like, okay, the writing is like a fabric. It's like a glorified version
Yeah.
of this murder.
Yeah.
So
I like that part. I like that.
It was pretty cool to see how it changed versus what actually happened.
Kept me on my toes. Yeah, it was it was good. And so she's trying to stay alive long enough to where Deke, her neighbor, notices that something's wrong, and she wrote on the whiteboard. I think she wrote like call 911 or I don't know. And so then at one point Deke does see it and is trying to call, but his phone lines were cut as well over there, and so he's trying to help her. She's just running around the house trying to stay alive. And I mean, there's moments where I was like, oh, that was smart, good thinking on her.
Like when she started boiling hot water, I was like, genius.
Yeah.
So she can throw it at him.
She didn't use it, but it still was genius.
She used the pan part.
She did use the pan part. She chucked that pan right at him. Yeah. And going into down in the basement because she knew exactly where he would stand to turn the light on to try to find her, and she slammed his fingers with the hammer. She got it with the hammer. Yeah. So
that was also funny when it cut to the excerpt written part. He's like he started crying, was yelling after how much it hurt that his fingers were smashed, and then in the book part or his written part is like, it barely even hurt.
Yeah. It's so good. And so she's trying to run around, so she thinks that he's coming up the stairs from the basement, and she's got a screwdriver ready. And when he rounds the corner, she stabs him in the throat and realizes that it's the neighbor Deke come to help her. And at
like
one
point, 6-year-old man.
He's like bleeding out, and she's just like, you should have announced yourself. He goes, why would I do that?
Yeah, I'm in a house running from a murder trying to help you. Why would I announce myself?
Like, oh, this is good. This is good. And so she's trying to keep him alive while also kill the murderer. And then the cops show up to do a wellness check. Yeah. And she's like, who called you?
Yeah, if it wasn't
and they were like, oh, this lady, Jules, just happens to show up. Then she goes, she leaves, but Emma tells her, like, mouths to her the name of the killer, and she walks away, like, go get help. She comes back, Jules does, and all of a sudden you hear, Mom, and I lost it. What a plot twist.
I did not see that one coming.
What a plot twist.
And so that's how he knows everything about the house, because that's his childhood home. He had just moved out.
Oh my God. That was such a good twist.
That was good. And like he had been dropping hints of like the kind of person his mother was, and like always so supportive, even though his books are fucking weird.
Yeah.
And like doesn't think he can do any wrong. Like, oh, this is just writing. Like he just writes about the bad stuff. He doesn't do any of the bad stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
it gets to where she's like, please don't kill Howie, and she's like, do you see what your son has done this entire night?
Yeah,
like,
and Emma announces like he's already killed someone, and so Jules is like, no, Howie, no.
Yeah, I'm like, what
do you mean?
Yeah. I was like, are you kidding me? And poor Deeks, she thinks is dead, and so she's just trying to stay alive. And Howard then, I don't exactly remember how he he hogties his mom, but I don't remember how he gets out of the situation. I think Deke
was trying to get Emma to leave with Jules to go get the police.
Yes, and then they leave, but then Jules comes back. And
Jules never left because she was like, you're gonna say like you shot him in self-defense, but you just want to kill him, so I'm gonna stay.
Well, she left when the cops were there to stop. Like, she stopped them, and she was like, oh, I forgot something, I have to run back. And they were like, okay.
When she turned around back to the house.
So then she's like, when she got to the house, realized what was happening. Yeah, she was like, you're not leaving. And so Deke was like, okay, then you run, because he had his gun faced at Howard or Howie, and he told her to take Jules's car and go get help. And she was like, Deke, you've lost a lot of blood, and your aim for this gun is not making me feel good about the situation. He was like, just run. And so she leaves. Well,
I'm pretty sure Howard had already stabbed Deke because he had his katana still.
Well, yeah, because it had broken, so he still had like a small blade.
No, it broke after he had stabbed Deke. Because then
it break
he was
after?
headed. Yeah, because then he was like, she ran straight into the basement with no way out other than the laundry chute. So he knew that she would be crawling up it and started stabbing into the wall.
That's right. And then it broke.
And it broke and he was crying.
That's right. Yes. Okay. That is true. Yeah. Yeah. And then she takes the dog, and then the dog runs away. And oh my God, I was breaking for the dog. I was like, oh my God.
Like,
don't you dare do it. And so then she runs Howard over with the Amazon driving truck.
Yeah, he was expecting her to take Jules's car, but she'd actually run around into the Amazon truck's van. Ran him over. He's still fine. It's like Michael Myers.
Yeah. And so then she manages to get back into the house, and I think that's when she goes up the chute because she grabs the dog. Or no, that's
she goes up the chute, jumps out. Like at that point, the dog ran somewhere because it spooked her.
Yeah, and then she runs him over.
At first, Howie shot into the car, into the driver's seat, and that gunshot scared the dog and ran away.
Yeah. And so then the dog comes back to the house, and he's like, I'm just going to kill the dog. And so he's like trying to get the dog to come to him. And I was like, don't do it. Do not do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then as he's about to kill the dog, she's like, no one touches my fucking dog. And I was like, oh, I love it.
Yeah, no one touches that dog.
Yeah, she was not having it. And at one point she throws the frying pan into his face, but that is after he shot her in the leg.
Yeah. She throws the frying pan. And then at some point, I forget at what point, but she had gone into his room and she was like, well, shit, this is it. But then remember the story he said he kept the sword and her teeth that he sucks on in the back panel of his bedroom. And the fact she found the panel, grabbed the sword, stabbed him, he's still motherfucking fine.
That's right.
Or a gun.
So she stabbed him in what she thought was the heart. And then she goes downstairs. She grabbed his gun and his cell phone so she could call 911. And they're sitting in the chair, and they got the 911 like call.
Yeah.
Log. And just so you're reading it, and they're like, send help. And she's like, it's a long story, but there was a murder in the house. There's people dead, but I killed him. And then she hears something upstairs and movement, and she's like, are you serious? This man is still alive.
Yeah.
And he comes downstairs with the sword in his chest. And the 911 operator goes, hello. And so you think, oh, Emma's finally dead. Because there are so many moments of time where you think, okay, Emma's fine, like she's gone.
You think Emma's gone.
And then she comes back. So then the operator's like, ma'am, are you still with me? And I was like, oh, she's done for. And then she takes his gun that Howard has and shoots him in the head. And then she sits back down. She goes, now I definitely know he's dead. I was like, oh my God. This is crazy. So then she stays in the hospital. She recovers.
Mm-hmm. So does Deke. Deke actually didn't die.
Deke recovers. And then
poetic justice. Howie had hogtied his mom.
Oh,
and then once he was pretty sure that he had gotten Emma, even when he didn't, he finds her and he's like, Mom, it's over, Mom. He had tied the knots too tight, and she also died by asphyxiation.
He did it again, 2 for 2. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yes, Jules does die. So Emma ends up going back to the beach house after 2 weeks in the hospital, and she's talking to Deke finally, because they had never talked in person, and that was the one thing that she wanted to do, like if she did survive that night, was have tea with him and talk in person like they always talked about. And so he's talking about he's going to write a book. He's coming, I don't want to say out of retirement. He never retired, but he hadn't written a book in a long time. So he's writing a book about Howard, And then you realize Deke's not a very nice old man. He's really not. And you realize that Deke planted Howie like at the house because Deke is the one that offered Howard's book to her, and that Deke also hated Howard because he would always leave his books at the doorstop and would like try to.
And he's broken into their house.
Like, he broke into their house. And it was basically Howard ruined his life. And so he wanted to ruin his. And then he got mad that Emma didn't die. And so he poisoned her with the tea that they were drinking. And
with propofol,
which was one of his hangman words.
Yeah.
And Emma, after losing her daughter, she always carried a backpack with rocks in it because she wanted to just walk out into the ocean.
Yeah.
And so he used that. She didn't want, like, after this night, she emptied the bag of rocks.
Yeah.
And she wanted to live. But he went in and he filled them back up because he used to watch her go and wade herself in the ocean and get like to her neck and then walk back out. And so he realized, oh, like she wants to die anyways.
Yeah,
and
he
so
could plant it as a suicide.
Yeah, so he drugs her and he's typing up her suicide note as she's like in and out, and she's trying to stop him, but the drugs are taking effect and she's just very wobbly and she's like dropping knives. And so he finally gets her like in his Jeep and she's riding in the Jeep with like all of these dead people, like Jules and the poor Amazon guy, and she's like, am I in hell? Like,
yeah,
what is happening? And they're like, you can survive, Emma, like you have it in you, because she made herself vomit, so she didn't take all of but obviously like
she didn't take a lethal dose.
Yeah,
just a concerning amount.
Yeah, and so he puts the backpack on her and then dumps her into the water,
the ocean.
And you think you're like, okay, well then this is how she dies. Nope.
Yeah. Well, it cuts to the next 911 call because Deke calls the police and says that I was coming over to.
Well, before that is the excerpt in his book.
Oh, that's right.
And I dedicate this to Emma. I wish I could talk to her.
Yeah, she was a brave girl. Wish we could have gotten to know each other even more. Because all this was just so he can get something else to write about and come out of his retirement or whatever.
Yeah.
So gross. But then he calls 911 after, like, the next morning, being like, I was supposed to meet her for this morning. We, like, have her sign some papers because, like, I wanted to write this book about her. And I know she's been super suicidal and had been depressed. So I'm just worried she did something. She's okay, what's the address and your neighbor's name? We'll do a wellness check. And he tells her, like, Emma. He's like, oh, Emma, and her last name? And he's like, yeah. She's like, oh, she's here right now at the police department.
He's like, what?
Like, what? And they're like, yeah, she just came in and she wanted to speak to someone. So you must be happy that she's okay. Sir? Hello? And he just hung up.
Also, before she lost consciousness and then came to, like, when he was about to dump her into the ocean, she had carved a knife in her arm. Deke killed me, because he couldn't get rid of that.
Yeah.
And then he was like, it doesn't matter anyways, you're going to be fish food. And I was like, wow, this man is heartless. I mean, obviously he's trying to kill someone, so it makes sense. But
well, he'd also mentioned, he's like, by the way, like, you know how, like, I have my estranged daughters and I told you I was finally going to call them and make it up to them. I wasn't going to. I forgot what he did to their mom, but he did
punched the mom and, like, broke
broke her nose or something. But he's like, yeah, my daughters will never talk to me again. So
he was like, my daughters, because I was drinking and I punched her mom and I was trying to get her to the hospital, and my daughters locked me out of the house, and so I was just crying in the driveway. And I was like, damn, okay. he's like, yeah, it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, but oh my god, that 911 call was perfection. He's like,
So
what?
good.
And so like, yeah.
Yeah, just hangs up. Yeah.
So he
Emma's
kills.
okay.
Emma's okay.
He kills himself.
Deke kills himself. Dog's great.
Dog's great.
And then she goes and gets reunited with her husband Sean.
Yeah, you realize that she's out there by herself because she ran away after their daughter died and to grieve because she didn't know how to act. Yeah. So she calls him and is like, I'm so sorry I abandoned you when we should have been grieving together. But like, oh.
Yeah, and he's gonna meet her halfway because he just can't spend another night without her. Oh my god. Yeah.
And Emma's fine.
It was a wild ride.
It was crazy.
I gave it a 5.
I gave it a 4.
I did see that.
Because there were still some.
I don't know. Jules as the mom got me. I was like, this is brilliant.
That did get me. I knew Deke was involved. I didn't see that it was how his mom or that he lived in the house.
Yeah,
I knew Deke has something to do with it.
You're way better at figuring that stuff out a lot sooner than I'm just so oblivious to all of it.
And they were like, I mean, it's meant to be absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Of a book. So it's hard to like be like, it's unrealistic. Like the whole point of the book is like how fiction is unrealistic. So the whole meta thing is pretty good.
Yeah.
But you know, I enjoyed it. There's just something not there for me to make it a 5.
I thought it was great because I was so not expecting that roller coaster especially when like you were coming to terms with, okay, Emma, like she's finally dead, and the next chapter, nope, and I'm like, what is happening?
What do you mean?
I was like, what?
And I like the inclusion of the book and the 911 calls, or like the other reviews.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I definitely liked it. It just wasn't a 5 for me.
Yeah, which is fine. It's not it's not a 1.
I will definitely read No Exit.
Yeah, I haven't read the book. I've just seen the movie, and so I don't know if the book would be different or not.
Yeah, I'll have to see. But let's see. Next week we're shifting the genres.
Yeah, we're getting a little romancy up here.
Softer. We're gonna be reading Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. It's the second book in the Part of Your World, I guess standalone series since.
Yeah.
But very excited. That had come out this year.
It's my birthday pick.
It's your birthday pick. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's gonna be coming out right next to your birthday. So that'll be exciting. Yeah, romance going. Do you want to know what else we're reading? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I forgot to do my rowdy 1-star.
Oh my god, do the rowdy 1-stars.
I was like, wait a minute, something's missing. Wait, oh my god, the rowdy
1-star is about a book about
1-stars. We're gonna get rowdy. Okay, so this book has a 3.77 stars, which is it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not terrible. 37,991 ratings, so low. Mainly 4 stars. Let me see. Yes, I do understand the irony of rating a book about a killer going after reviews that gives bad graders 1 star, but this book is not a thriller. What? I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. Why couldn't the whole book be as good as the first 50 pages? Amateur.
Awkward.
I don't know if anyone actually reads these, but if you do, don't read this freaking book.
Oh.
Some people just struggled, like DNF'd it. It's kind of funny. People are like, not me giving this book 1 star when it's about someone who gets stalked by a crazy author after giving the book 1 star.
Yeah.
Among the 10 worst books I've read. Oh.
My gosh.
Okay.
Definitely wasn't bad.
Putting a dog in pain is lazy writing.
Oh.
His dog is also named that in real life.
Oh, yes, he does have a dog named Laika.
So is the fact that Taylor Adams wrote this book about his real dog is insane. Okay.
I mean, you have to be down for a crazy time.
This was 2 stars until the sword stuff happened. LOL. That was great. But yes, there we go. There was your rowdy 1-star reviews. Yes, next week we're getting back into more romancy.
Yes.
I'm pretty excited.
Spooky reads. Time for
we have a good mix.
We have a good mix.
I feel like this month.
I forget what was happening this month. Oh, yes, I remember. ACOTAR. I have to get ready for that one.
And then I don't remember what happened.
Yours truly, then An Honest Lie by Taryn Fisher.
Oh, yes.
And then ACOTAR.
And I saw your review for An Honest Lie, so I'm scared.
You have to read
it. I know I have to read it.
Anyway. Yeah.
What I have to find is all of my books again, people. This is the problem with getting new flooring in a house is you have to box everything up, anything that touches the floor, and that included all of my bookshelves. And so all of my books are in boxes that I could not touch. So I get to go through them and put them back on bookshelves. So that'll be exciting.
Oh, yeah, you have to tell me when you're doing that, because then maybe I can come over and start peeling off those goddamn stickers that you kept on them.
I'm the worst. Guys, you've seen me post promotion photos with the stickers on the book.
The second I get a book home, I have to peel any and all stickers that are on them.
I just put them on a shelf.
I'll leave, like, if it won an award or it says, like, New York bestseller or something, I'll leave those on there. But any price tag.
Not the Target 20% stickers. I need to. I even have on the Once and Future Witches, I still have my book bin sticker on it.
What I am bad about is if I bought it used, how some bookstores will, like, write in pencil. Side of it. Yeah. I'm really bad at erasing that because I always forget. I think one day I'm just gonna go through all of my books and just.
One time for funsies, because I know I haven't bought all of my books at store price or what. Yeah. So I went through, and when I lived with you and I had just my books on the floor like a hoodlum, I went through and I calculated how much it was money wise if I had bought all of them at shelf price or book price, whatever, and it was almost $10,000, and that was just those ones. That is
all of the books.
No,
that's insane.
Well, because if you think, so I've got roughly, I think, 400 books. If they're at like 18 to 20 a piece,
it's wild.
Now, granted, we have not bought majority of these books at full price.
Yeah, we always go to used.
We try to go to independent bookstores or
sales.
Yeah. Goodwill. Yeah. Things like that. Ooh. And also, I feel like Target's pretty good about, like, you're not paying the full price.
There's usually a discount going. If you wait a little bit,
there'll
be a 20 or 30% off.
It's very rare that we pay full price for a book.
It does happen. Sometimes we
it
fall
has.
into it.
It has, especially if it's a very highly anticipated book that we've been wanting to read and we don't see it very often. We'll be more prone to buying them
snag it
full
where
price.
you can. Not me thinking of going to Target later to buy a new bookshelf and then just pop it into the book section.
It's a crime if you go to Target and you don't look at the book section.
Though you sent me a TikTok of those mini brands toys. How they have a book series now.
Yes.
I kind of want them.
It's crazy. Also, next week we are going to the new Barnes & Noble in Salem. So
yes, the new Barnes & Noble opened up near us. So
see, that's also too like the time where I would buy books full price. Usually Barnes & Noble has books that you can't really find anywhere.
You do what you gotta do.
Target's been better at their book selection. I will say.
They've really gotten a much wider selection lately.
And I've seen videos Walmart was stepping up their game too. So
they did. I went there last week and there was some good paperbacks out that I hadn't seen in person yet. But paperbacks now are like $16, $17, $18.
Yeah.
Which in my head they're like 11 or 12.
Well, that's how much they are on Kindle. So that's why I'm going to buy them and then spend more money if I like them and buy the pricier to have
I feel like that's a good idea. It's like you have to really like them if you want to buy a physical copy if you're doing that.
Well, and I thought too, you and I both don't like hardbacks unless it's a certain series. So, and usually it takes forever for them to go from hardcover to paperback. And then sometimes when we buy the paperback, we don't like it. And we could have saved all this time. So I figured this way I could buy the book and read it. And if I like it, wait until it gets into paperback. And if I don't like it, then I'm not wasting my time.
Fine. That's
exactly
true. You're vetting them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm slowly becoming more and more convinced that I would want a Kindle, must say.
I didn't think I would love it as much, but it saved me a lot of time, especially since, like, at least here at my boyfriend, at Dean's house, we go to bed so early because he gets up so early.
Yeah.
And so I usually would have to go lay in bed for a little while, and then I would just get up and turn a light on in the living room. But now I can just use the light, the background, and just stay in bed and read and not disturb anything. It's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, you could take it camping. You don't have to worry about getting your book dirty.
Oh my god.
Or on vacations, you have to worry about the pages ripping or damaging or
the weight or
Oh yeah, this thing is very light.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sold, so.
You already have it.
I know. I'm sold again. I'm sold again.
Wow. At least it's sales-ish time. Maybe I can get one on like Black Friday.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's Black Friday. Yeah. And you could probably get books cheaper too, like when you get it.
Oh yeah.
Because they might be doing like sales. Isn't there like Kindle Day or there's something?
I don't know when
where
they
you
are.
Can, where you can like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, anyway.
Okay.
That's just. You can check out our Instagram and Baby Got Stacks podcast, see what else we're reading this month, or you can check out the link in our bio, see where else we are, like our Goodreads, see what else we have planned eventually, because we have so many goddamn books, and we like it this way.
Yes, we do.
Like and follow wherever you're listening to this podcast. We try to do a new episode every Sunday. To be fair, this past week was the first and only time we've ever done this so far. Post late.
It's true.
And this is episode 60.
Yeah. You know, guys, everyone's human. Halloween fell on a weird time.
Yeah. And we actually had plans.
We did.
That doesn't happen very often.
mean,
Next
with
week we have
with each
plans
other.
too. We're gonna have to figure that out actually. Well, Friday, Saturday. We'll be fine.
No, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
We are gonna go see the Jonas Brothers in concert. But that's on a Thursday, and we both have Friday off, and our only plans Friday is to go and get more books.
Shopping.
So
maybe then we'll do TikToks or something.
Oh, that's gonna be a wild time. We'll see.
We'll try to figure it out. Let's see. We've said that before.
Yeah, and then we forget because we get so enthralled with, oh my God, they have this book and this book.
Yeah.
I have one book that I am wanting, and it's Wildfire by Hannah Grace.
I went to the library store.
Yeah.
Albany has a little store for some of their donated books. I found Icebreaker.
Oh my God.
I bought 4 books for $6.
Icebreaker is such a good
I was
book.
so excited.
I love that book so much. It's such like a fluffy, it's not a grumpy sunshine, but oh my God, yeah, it's so good.
I was so excited. I was only gonna get it if I found a good deal, and that was a damn good deal. Because they were getting buy one, get one free.
Oh, damn.
So like all 4 books was a total of $6.
You cannot beat that. And that's
like
a newer
I would have spent
book.
$6 just for Icebreaker.
Oh, 110. I would buy it a second time just to say that I bought it for $6 at that point. God.
All right. Well, we'll try to get a TikTok out for you guys. So I think Where Baby Got Stuck's podcast there as well.
I think so.
There's nothing on it. If you click it and there's no videos, you found it. It's the right one.
There's no content. That is the content.
We'll try.
We'll give it our best shot. We're human. Yeah. I don't know what you want from us.
Yeah, okay. That's all we got for you.
Okay. Well, until next time, we're on to more spicier adventures. I'm sure Abby Jimenez is going to throw the spice in that book, so I am ready for it.
Ready. I always say I'm ready, but then sometimes we get a really spicy one. I'm like, I was not ready. I wasn't ready for lollipops.
Yeah, that still haunts me. Lollipops and guns, I just can't.
Lollipops and guns.
I can't do it.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, well, we'll see you next week. Bye, guys.